What's up, homies? It's Edible Incredible, and today I'll be theorizing into the origins of the Triforce in Breath of the Wild. As we know, the only legit appearance it has in the game is on Zelda's hand when she obliterates those guardians, and of course when she defeats Ganon. It doesn't really appear anywhere else other than just references like in Hyrule Castle, but not the Triforce itself. Let's step back to look at the history of the Triforce. In Skyward Sword, Link assembled the complete Triforce to fend off Demise. In Ocarina, Ganondorf got his hands on the Triforce of Power, but got wrecked when trying to acquire all three. In the Wind Waker, Ganondorf almost had his wish for Hyrule's return granted, but got stabbed in the head. In the Downfall timeline, the Triforce is prevalent throughout, and in Twilight Princess, it's not mentioned, but appears on Link, Zelda, and Ganon's hand. It even fades away as Ganondorf takes his final breath. To conclude both the child and adult timeline, Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, and Four Swords Adventures, the Triforce is not mentioned. And looking at the timeline as a whole, the use of the Triforce seems less and less relevant as time goes by. That is, in 2 of the 3 timelines to be specific, since the end of the Downfall era, it's still a part of the story. So now comes Breath of the Wild, the end of the Zelda chronology, as of now at least. And once again, the Triforce isn't even mentioned, but that doesn't mean it isn't used, as Zelda clearly has it. Although she didn't always have this power, or it just wasn't awakened quite yet. This Triforce power seems to be passed down from Zelda to Zelda, but the royal family referred to it as the Sealing Power, which was also used 10,000 years ago against the first Calamity. My question is, how are they able to confine the Triforce just to Zelda's bloodline? Especially since a piece of the Triforce is destined to show up on its respective owners. In Twilight Princess, we see this. Link has his in the intro and Ganon does too, even though in this timeline he didn't enter the Sacred Realm. In his botched execution scene, the sage calls his escape a divine prank. I feel the gods want to witness these conflicts, so they always entrust the pieces to these 3 members. But in Breath of the Wild's case, the Triforce of Courage isn't shown on Link's hand. Further evidence that Zelda does indeed hold the complete Triforce. Usually, whichever piece you have shines a little bit brighter, and Zelda seemed to glow throughout all 3. But back to my question, how could the royal family override the god's will and restrict the Triforce's power to only the princess's bloodline? Well, after years of countless conflicts surrounding the Triforce, and as technology reached its prime over 10,000 years before Breath of the Wild, the royal family must have held the Triforce during this age of prosperity, and they knew it only brought war when looking at their past. So they thought of a way to get rid of the object itself while keeping its power in their family. They decided to instruct the Zelda of that time to make a wish on the Triforce, to turn it into a sealing power against evil that only dwelled within her bloodline, but that this power would only be unlocked when needed the most. That way future Zeldas wouldn't be able to abuse this power. But it does state in the Zelda Encyclopedia that a Triforce wish will hold true until the user of the Triforce dies. However, at the end of the Wind Waker, the king appears to die after wishing for Hyrule to be washed away. As he does, the water continues to flood Hyrule. In my opinion, this rule very much depends upon the scenario. Link and Tetra may have defeated Ganon and made a future for themselves with or without the king's wish, but his wish did trigger Hyrule's flood, and the air bubbles surrounding Link and Tetra would have popped as soon as the king died, because I believe that was the gods securing their future due to his wish, which would have been undone according to the rule. And that's why I feel this rule isn't always the case. Zelda's dedicated her life to awaken this sealing power, and when she does, it seems as if she's able to communicate with Fi. And once Ganon is defeated, she brings up how she no longer can hear the voice inside the sword. So her sealing power must have passed on as well to the next Zelda. If the sealing power is in fact a manifestation of the Triforce of old, then the relic itself may be gone for good. I feel an ancient wish on the Triforce may very well be the root of this sealing power, unless the technology that thrived 10,000 years ago had something to do with it. But that's just my theory. I'm super curious how you think the royal family was able to limit the power to Zelda's bloodline. Well, I hope you're having a great Zelda month, and as always, stay hype, my homies. Peace!